Hey there guys, it's Sam here bringing you a brand new video. Today we're going to look at converting gameplay to happy play. And since we're here to spread happiness, here's a quote from a woman who ought to have been terribly miserable. Your success and happiness lies in you. Resolve to keep happy, and your joy in you shall form an invincible host against all difficulties. This quote is by Helen Keller. She was born blind and deaf. In my mind, this is the worst combination of senses failure. She later went on to graduate college and even wrote hymns. If she could be happy, I'm sure we'll manage it as well, regardless of how crazy pubs are. Fatigue is the F word. Unfortunately, fatigue does not make most of us look as cute or happy as this golden retriever puppy. About 40 years ago, your tax dollars funded a study by Gerald P. Kruger at the U.S. Army Aeromedical Research Laboratory on sleep productivity. That study found, as current ones do as well, sleep loss appears to result in reduced cognitive time, decreased vigilance, perceptual and cognitive distortions, and changes in affect. Now, what does this mean for us? I've never known anyone to play tanks better tired, drunk, or high. Contrary to what you or your friends often say when playing tired, drunk, or high. Maybe your experience has been different, but if so, I would challenge you to do a reanalysis on it. If you are really exhausted, don't play World of Tanks. That's when people rage even more, when the arty hits you and you totally spaz out, or you're behind the match the whole time in your head. So if we want to avoid playing super fatigued, how can we do that? The answer is time management. Who's this guy right here? This guy's name is Marcus Aurelius, or should we say, was. He's got a ball and beard, and he served in the Roman Senate 3 times. He also governed Rome, produced the defining work of Stoic philosophy, and he only lived 59 years, from 121 to 180 AD. So he's been dead a long time. How did he accomplish all of the things that he did? He knew how to count his days and make the best of them. For us, World of Tanks players, this means getting a proper order of events done. If that jogs your memory, think of PEMDAS, which maybe you learned doing algebra in high school. Don't play tanks in a time crunch. If you really need to get up, make a meal, go to work, don't queue for a match. You're hoping it'll be 3 minutes long. It'll invariably be 10 minutes long. Don't do it. If your girlfriend is waiting on you, if your wife is waiting on you, if you really need to go to sleep to prepare for the next day, don't play. No. Why? Why might that be? Because internally you know that there's another thing that you should be doing right now. You won't be mentally focused enough to have your game at 100%. And I and you want you to be playing at 100%. Bad company corrupts good times. Looking at this picture, it probably reminds you of 1 or 2 friends you have in particular. This is Bill. Bill has a cancerous friend. Don't be like Bill. If you tank with someone who makes you feel bad or frustrated about yourself, apart from a really good reason like, dang, you really should have paid your rent and not screwed over your roommate, don't tank with them. There's a lot more involved here than what, but really it's a whole ethos of cutting these people out. Sadly though, or actually optimistically, I'm not a therapist, I'm a tutor, so we don't have to worry about any of that today. For tanks purposes, stop platooning with players who yell at you for small mistakes or demand you sacrifice your tank for them. That's the bigger issue there on the latter. I hear this so often from good students of mine who struggle because of platoon pressure. Leave it behind. You're going to thank me and be so much happier when you play. Lastly, we need to know our limits. Because of ongoing health concerns, I try not to play more than 10 games in a row of World of Tanks. I know this will be my best game segment mentally. This is a self-imposed limit for my better. What are your self-imposed limits? Do you have them? Have you thought about it? Do you know them? This gentleman here, free climbing, has a keen grasp of what he cannot do. I'm going to say that again. He has a keen grasp of what he cannot do. He cannot fly, he cannot launch himself up the face, and he cannot survive a fall to the bottom. This allows him to excel at what he can do. Few realize how important knowing your limits is to exceeding your current state. If you haven't yet determined your personal limits for games played in a row, hours logged in a row, sleep before tanking, beers before tanking, drugs, whatever it is, do it. I promise it will help. Now today we covered history, psychology, physiology, and most importantly, World of Tanks. Use these mental guidelines to keep your gameplay low stress and fun. Happy tanking, guys. Good luck in your pubs.